Yo, Kohei, where you at, bro?
All right.
Kohei, help.
Hey, behind the wall.
Kohei, take low, please.
You're also the one with the fucking top. Let's just get on with it.
Hi, Mom.
Are you still recording?
I gave up. I just hit the stop button.
Okay, for real this time. For fuck's sake. Oh, hey there. Didn't see you there. If you come to watch a top 32 deck profile, you've come to the right place. Because these are some winners cards for you to see. There's one missing, that's because the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Terrence Markham from PGSC has this Digimon.
Not a zombie channel.
Yep. Wasn't good enough to win it myself. Don't worry about it.
And you might be wondering, what was I running? Was I running the best deck in the format, Mirage Galgamon? Maybe I was being a little bit different and playing Imperial Dramon. You might be thinking, it's probably a hybrid player. Ancient Garurumon, maybe even Ancient Greymon. You're fucking wrong. It's birds. I'm playing birds, baby. 4 Yokomon. You ain't ever seen anything like this. Except you have, because it's birds. 4 Yokomon. Best bird deck egg they've ever printed. It lets you fish back a bird. If you know me, you know that I think the 12, 10, 8, 6 Digimon ratio is a fallacy. I was on 4 Veemon, 4 Veemon. Those were the only rookies I played. You don't need more than 8. You need 4 level 4s that call it Gunimon. They're not vaccines. I don't know why. Well, I know why, because they're hybrids. Why are the hybrids in this deck? That's a good question. It's because we play... I should probably take some of this a little bit seriously, actually, because this is a deck profile.
Yeah, but it's a deck.
Holy shit, it is?
No way. Top 32. Okay.
Oh, we're gonna have to bleep that one. That was in 60 seconds.
Alright. Let's take this a little seriously. So, we're playing a version of Birds, which involves the Ancient Greymon package, specifically the promo Gunimon and the Ancient Greymon. The Gunimon lets you swing and evolve into an Ancient Greymon for 2. Why are we using this package instead of just regular birds? The reason is because it's a little bit faster. Ancient Greymon does 2 damage. It's a level 6, which then lets you resolve Analog Youth. Analog Youth helps find Tamers, which you then get put in the trash. Ancient Greymon dies at the end of the attack for a Gunimon, fishes back Tamers, plays Tamers, and then lets you resolve. Basically lets you set up your Sora combos early. So, yeah, the general, ideal game plan you're going into is you have a stack that's just... this is a mess. You have a stack that's just Veemon, Agunimon, swing, evolve into Ancient Greymon, dies, suspend Analog Youth to gain a memory Hachitama, fish a Tamer and a hybrid back, play the Tamer, gain a memory back from Veemon because it's a red Tamer's in play. And then you just set up the loop again in back and just keep doming your opponent for damage. I'm going to move these out of the way because they're in the way. This is like the core of the deck. And then what do you do when the core doesn't show up?
When you have 8 3s and 4 4s.
So it's 4s. You play 2 more level 4s. There's only 6 level 4s in this deck. So 8 level 8s. 8 level 8s. Sorry guys, I've leaked Bandai information. Level 7s come soon, level 8s. You play 2 more level 4s just in case you whiff. And then we're on 4 Garudamon X and 4 Garudamon Ace. 8 level 5s. Once again, breaking the traditional 10, 8. No wait, no, this is actually a traditional amount of level 5s. We lied, we don't break one rule. The level 5s are fine. When you swing with the Ancient Grey and do 2 damage, you put yourself at enough security, your opponent's security, for Sora to return to hand to play out a Garuda Ace, which then plays the Sora again. You then go into Garuda X, fish back the Ancient Grey, because for some reason this just adds back a red Digimon. They did not specify vaccine or bird. That was a mistake, Bandai. You shouldn't have done that because that allows me just to do the loop again. It also... For some reason, Bandai have this really weird trend of giving the wrong text of the antibody Digimon you need the necessary material to fulfill this prerequisite. They gave it to delete something with same DP. They did not give it to when you return a red Digimon from trash to hand, give one of your Digimon rush, which is insanely broken because you can loop so many things. Because Sora resolves when you add a red Digimon from trash to hand, you can do in theory you can just go play, Evo, add back, bounce, play off Garuda, Ace, Evo, and just generate 3 rush bodies with overflow. So you are beholden to security just gacking you, but if it doesn't, you just produce lethal on board from literally nowhere. It's not normal, but it is a specific setup. Otherwise, if your opponent is at enough security, you can just slam this off of the Sora, give it rush. If you have more than one Sora out, you just generate 2 rush bodies from nowhere and just do more damage that way. And then we do actually have more normal bird cards. So we're on 3 for regular Phoenixmon, and then we're on 2 Phoenixmon X Antibody. Guys, I'm so sorry. That was our PTSD victim. I think he faced bird hybrid all week. I think they were on purple hybrid as well, which is one of the freest matchups that ancient Greymon birds can face. Are you okay? He'll be fine. He'll be fine. So, Phoenixmon is a decent bridge when you're missing Ancient Greymon or you have to climb. He himself just puts out a Tamer or maybe a Birdramon to block. But he also represents a bit of a problem for the opponents, especially if they have to delete your stuff to resolve their effects. He himself on deletion deletes. Well, it's either if your opponent's at 4 security, you burn a security, or if they're at 3 or less, you delete the lowest DP Digimon on the board. But you usually combine it with Garuda X, which on deletion burns the security anyway. So if your opponent's at 4 security, you can resolve it in a way that goes burn 1, then resolve on deletion, delete the lowest. So good for dealing with stuff like Fenrir, if you've done the damage and you've made it back and they go full combo into attacking Mikazuchi. They have to delete the Phoenixmon because they have to shrink it by 6k. You then go burn security, delete Phoenixmon, delete the attacking Mikazuchi because it's the only thing on the board. Or you can sequence it in a way where you burn a security and burn security and it's kind of 3 damage total. And then obviously if it keeps making it back and it makes it back to the next turn, you can just turn it into Phoenixmon X Antibody, which for some reason I say for some reason, the deck needed this kind of. Phoenix X Antibody turns all of your on deletions and attaches it with end of attack. So if it makes it back, you get all of your deletions. If it doesn't make it back, you get all of your deletions. Pretty insane. I had a Lucemon player which I'll talk about in a minute, which would oh no, it wasn't Lucemon player, it was Lilithmon in testing, which would give end of attack, delete itself, and that's crazy. So I get all my undeletes, and I get all my undeletes again. That's insane. And then we run the 1 Crimson Mode Ace because shout out to my Gallantmon goats.
That's the king.
2.5 is our year, baby. Crimson Mode because he's sick, and also because sometimes being able to go Blast Evo, play the board. It's good for reality hexes or mirages that overextend and they've left a level 6 on the board. Because then obviously the Crimson Mode just deals more damage and clears the Mirage board if necessary, and clears the Hexabao. From this point onwards, it's consistency options. We were on 3 training and 2 boost. A lot of people might say just run 4 trainings because it's more efficient and I don't know, it finds more cards, but being able to dig for more pieces and crack the boost to hard slam Garuda Ace came up so often. I was originally on 1 boost and I think it was maybe 9 rookie. I think it was a Zudomon EX6 rookie, but I ended up cutting it for the consistency options because unfortunately this deck is also beholden to, I do this to myself, it's beholden to breaking at a moment's notice. If you don't find pieces, you can't play the game, but fortunately we have 5 boost, 4 Analog Youth, 4 of the Veemon searchers, 1 Akiho searcher. We have plenty of ways to search through the deck. The only issue is we don't have a way to search out a Digimon outside of the consistency boost and Veemon and analog youth. So we had to be careful with what searches we use at a moment's notice, but that's more of a practice thing that you get used to over time. 2 copies of Protoform. That goes over Guru, that allows you to Guru to X for 2 or Phoenix X for 4, and it resolves their effects. Usually it's actually better to jump from the level 5 to Phoenix X on level 6, because that way Phoenix X lets you play out a Phoenixmon off of its effect. So rather than going Evo, Protoform, Evo, you kind of lose out on this Phoenixmon, even though you can get it back with Protoform. Being able to go like 5, Protoform, jump to 6, play this, lets you establish 2 bodies. Even for a little more memory, you're still getting this on delete effect. And like worst case scenario, you're adding this back and Protoform gets recovered. And then obviously 2 level 6s for Crimson mode are established. And then the last 2 cards are Wings of Love. This card is ridiculous. It reads, play a tamer from hand without paying its cost. Then if you have a Sora in play, you can add back a red Digimon. This also lets you add back the Ancient Greys, because again, doesn't tag it with bird or vaccine, just says a red Digimon. And then for 2 cost, you basically enable your combo again. So from literally nowhere, you can steal game by just playing this, playing the Sora, bouncing the Sora, playing a good ace, play a good X, blah blah blah, generate a gajillion rush bodies, and you swing for game. And that is the list. So what was the run? The run started really well. Our round 1 was Commandramon. Unfortunately for Commandramon, it is very good at doing 2 things: making blockers and establishing a lot of small bodies. This deck is very good at killing blockers and dealing with small bodies. I don't want to say it had no chance, but it was like heavily skewed in my favor. It was like one of the best round 1s I could have asked for, realistically speaking. Like, unfortunately, like the player I played against wasn't like super aware what my cards do. And to be fair, game 1 was kind of close. I was kind of close to decking out because I was like overextending a little bit. But we clutched it up by, the boost came in handy here because we passed on the boost and then was able to play Garuda Ace to attempt to block the Brigadier, Garuda X to pop something else, and then just sort of do enough like deletions so they couldn't re-establish a board and I could swing for game. Game 2 was a lot cleaner where I was just finding my Ancient Grey lands and the analog youth early and just sort of kind of one clean out. Round 2 was Purple Hybrid, the freest matchup for birds. You can lose it if they're faster, but realistically, a lot of their effects just say delete the lowest Digimon or like level Digimon on your board, and we love getting deleted. Like it's this deck's favorite thing to do is just getting deleted because you get all the effects, you get to burn a security, gain the memory, play a tamer, do whatever. Like it's really not a good for Purple Hybrid to delete you. So games 1 and 2 were just kind of a blowout. Round 3 was Lucemon. I was surprised to see Lucemon that high that early up, but I guess it's still a good control deck. Expensive control deck, that's for sure. But like, my problem with Lucemon, and I didn't say this to the guy at the time because you don't want to like criticize decks right in front of the face of your mid-tournament, unless you're going for that mental damage, in which case go nuts. But Lucemon is very good at giving you problems when it's like the early stages of like Lucemon Chaos mode can turn into a Charles Straffy Ace, and that I got hit with that, and it set me back a little bit. And then Lucemon X is really hard to deal with because it's immovable. And if you try to remove it, you take a damage and they take a damage. But there's like 3 issues with the deck against this deck in particular. 1, I can just ignore anything that I don't want to interact with. I can get aced by the level 5 Chaos mode, but I can deal with that as it comes. Once the ace happens, I'm not really that fussed. Second, they let me choose whether or not I want to delete one of my Digimon or Tamers, or I burn security and they recover one. So they let me choose if I want to delete one of my Digimon that likes to be deleted, or one of those Tamers that I can get back with Ancient Greymon. I'll do that every day. Especially if there's an analog youth on board and it means I gain more memory, fine. The first thing is, once Station Mode comes down and they don't have a lava mode in circulation, that is not a level 7 you should be respecting. Like the level 5 and level 6, scary. Level 7, go nuts. At the end of turn, security burn doesn't do anything and it has no protection outside of lava mode pushing up. And even then, they themselves are doing 2 damage. If you can find a way to mitigate them doing the damage, you just win by them just being slower. You're not afraid of bases at that point anymore. But they can lean into like Biting Crush and Veemon package, which is like fair enough. But realistically, even Biting Crush doesn't help them against it because like the Veemon popping up Phoenixmon means their Veemon dies before they can go into Levia X, so they lose the interaction that way. So that was Lucemon. Round 4 was Purple Hybrid, again the freest matchup for birds in the format. I scammed them game 1. I'm gonna throw that out there now. I did scam them game 1. I was in no position to win. I got outpaced. And then they hit 2 red memory boosts in security and I won the game. Because security is a very fair and balanced mechanic. But if I hit 2 Jack Raids in security, I would have been pissed off as well. So swings and roundabouts, right? I won that game and then I think I scooped round 2. Well, that might have been against Ancient Greymon. I forget. No, I won game 2. Game 2 was a blowout as well. I smoked his ass.
I hear it's free.
I hear it's quite free, you know? It was the Ancient Grey, which I had went to 3 games against. So game 1 against Ancient Grey. It's like we're both playing the same win con. It's just sometimes he'll do 3 damage instead of 2, and sometimes one of us will fight. The thing here is the game 1. I'm missing Ancient Greymon. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to keep with my Greenmon in the back. He promotes, swings, hits an analog youth. I go, search the. I'll do it for the bit. I was like, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's the Ancient Greymon. And I had that to hand, and I won the game based off that. So he fixed my board state, and gave me an analog youth for free. Security, once again, mechanic of all time. Game 2, I break. I just go next. Game 3. Again, it's just if you find your pieces first, and they don't. I think the thing here was that if they had Gravity Crush, they won, and when they played Analog Youth to pass turn and then die off the Ancient Grey, they revealed an Gravity Crush off the top, so it got trashed. Then they passed the Analog Youth, but then passed turn on the Flamemon, searched top 3. There was a Gravity Crush on top again, so it was you were doomed at that point, and that's just unfortunate. And then I cracked back and won the game from that point. So at this point, we were looking pretty good. We were 5 wins at XO. Usually we go XO at 3 wins, and then we go wishy-washy. But this time was different. And then things started to look better. We went against Mirage round 6, which I'm pretty sure was the overall winner. Was it Jorge?
Yeah, the fucking go.
He's pretty good, you know,
Yeah,
pretty good.
Back Nat's top 2.
Kind of decent. If he ever finds us watch this, yeah, pretty good.
Mickey Mouse region.
He's got my endorsement. No, he was super. He was nice. He also wanted to play the deck I was running, and I said, you could have been playing my deck. But he also would have lost the round because I also lost the round. Game 1, I ended up winning. I think he wasn't I don't know if he wasn't super aware of how fast the deck could go, or I maybe high rolled a little bit. Game 2, I was so close to winning. I literally had to produce 1 more Rush Garuda X to win the game, but I didn't have it in hand, so I had to pass turn. At that point, I was staring down. What's the old Tomac called again? Which old set number?
BT4.
BT4. I was staring down BT4 Toma, 3 blue memory boost, 2 wisdom trainings, and there's rookie and back. And I had a Garuda X on board and full security. And he won that turn. Got cleared. I just died on the spot. Which makes sense because he had
Exodia.
That's floating 10 memories.
10 memories resources to play with, right? Which makes sense, I'm not gonna game 3
15 memories.
15 memories to
First
play
match
with.
plus 0.
Yeah. Then game 3 I didn't find a rookie for ages and I couldn't restabilize from a board state that. We tried and we lasted a few turns, but at that point I'm fighting for my life and no mem sets are on board. it was just one of those. It was a really close game up until game 3, which unfortunately it has to happen at some point. And then round 7 was Armour, who also made top cut that day. I think they made at least top 16. They made a bit of a misplay in game 1 where they tried to armor Awakening of the Golden Knight from Magna X into a starter deck Magnamon.
Huh?
Yeah, so this was a thing apparently they'd done before. I explained to them that it's like, I had to check just to be like on the safe side. Like, yeah, it's not an armor form. So we called the judge, then they said like, basically, they hadn't seen the card that they drawn, they just replaced it. Nothing happened, all they got was a game warning and the game state got repaired, but the Armour Awakening got whiffed. So they were on 7 memory, they went to 4. And then they just dropped the Defex for 2. So they had multiple ways of lethal, but they were just like turbo inting as best they could, but then they're like, things happen. Mistakes happen at high stakes tournaments, right?
Famously.
Game 2, they were like perfectly fine, no mistakes, they played well. I couldn't really get around Magna X, I couldn't really establish a way to like bait out attacks for Garuda Ace, and I just sort of like lost fairly comfortably. So this is at this point, things were looking dire. We're 5-2, we've lost our buffer, we had to win all 3 of our games to make it through to day 2. Spoiler alert, we did. Because you've seen the thumbnail. But round 8 was another Ancient Grey player. I feel like game 1 was kind of just like me doing donuts. Game 2, I think they wanted to do. I feel like they grab crushed and then went over the end of attack Takuya too early. Because I think if they were able to establish a BT4 Ancient Grey that does the damage per hybrid, yeah. If they were able to establish that on one of the hybrids and then end on another hybrid, the Takuya hybrid to swing for game, they would have had game 2. But they evolved over the Takuya with like inherits. So I wasn't worried about end of attack. I was more so worried about if they had a way to extend with another Gravity Crush and then putting a thingy out. But then the thing about Gravity Crush here is that even if they try to analog youth, because you've still reached end of turn, they still lose the 2 memory. So that I had to check Gravity Crush again just to make sure that was the wording.
Non-once per turn?
Not once per turn. So yeah, I think they ended up doing the end of turn Takuya trick where the Ancient Grey that would die at the end of the turn doesn't actually see the end of the turn, so it sticks around. So rather than do that play, they did the end of turn play instead, so that the Gravity Crush would still pass over memory, but the Ancient Grey wouldn't die. But it didn't matter anyway, because if they didn't kill me that turn, I was killing them that turn, and I did. So that's Ancient Grey. Round 9 was Mirage, which was worrying because I was really wanting more purple matchups, but they gave us a Mirage. I had to clear Hexablow 3 times over the course of 2 games. But I did it, and I won the set because of that. Because if Hexablow comes down, famously, there's not much I can do other than clear it. And if at any point they put a DP buff on it, I'm in danger because there's no way for me to have more sources in it unless I'm like on a specific stack that involves Protoform and like Phoenixmon X. Like I have to climb taller than the Hexablow, and usually that's not possible. But the Agunimon Inherit does let you evolve for 2 less over the level 5. So you can just go Protoform for 2 into Garuda X, then 2 into Ancient Grey, which then pops the Hexablow, forces them to reset, and then you still have a body that swings 2 damage next turn. I had to do it 3 times, so even though my team has got bot decked, we still clutched up, which huge. We had to win 1 more round, and we were through to top cut, and it was against. I'm gonna say this now. I don't know what I was against until game 2. I saw Togemon get flipped up and thought, damn, this is great Angels. I played this to death, but I'm still worried. They evolve into Salamon in the back and go, I'm safe. Then you go Galamon, and then you go. I don't know what set it's from, but it was like the Gatomon armors. Nefertimon, that's the one.
Yeah, okay. So this list was just like, it was like yellow, It was like Yellow Vaccine without any of the good Yellow Vaccine cards, and the entire idea is that you just make Magnex.
Yeah,
that was essentially it.
It's like the Armour DNA
so
file,
it cut the
right?
Rapidmon so you could actually make an armor in the back to commit to Awakening, but then also it still played Patamon. So I don't know. It was like a weird list. It was a weird list. Fair play to him for being X2 at the time, but like I don't know. It was just Yellow Vaccine essentially.
Really like Metro too.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool list. In fairness, like I didn't know what I was playing game one because at the time it just looked like it was Angel Ace spam. I didn't realize until game two when they found the Magnet X, I realized I'm playing Armour Vaccine. So game one they didn't find Magnet X, and they established like 3 aces and an Nefertimon. So it was just a case of clearing the aces, gaining so much overflow. I kind of had to do donuts to get lethal, but we had more than enough resources to do that and like clear their board if needs be. Game two is when I found that it was Magnet X. It got to the play I had to make, which I was really happy with, was I had to swing with a Goonimon, go into Ancient Grey, attempt to swing for 2 checks. They would block. I would then re-establish a board that goes like Sora, then play out a Veemon, Akiho to give it rush, and then add back the Agunimon, and then go into Agunimon again, swing with the now rush Agunimon to go into a second Ancient Grey, do 2 damage, and that puts into one security, and then like survive for a turn. And at that point, it was just a case of attempting to swing again because I had like analog you to re-establish another Ancient Grey line, and then forcing them to block, and I kid you not, establishing 4 rush bodies on board, so that even if they restood, they had no way to block, like restand block, and me not have enough of lethal, or even like soul strip me with Imperial Ace, because I was on 3 memory, and there was only 1 inherit with like Garuda Ace, so I would, even if I got hit with Imperial Ace or Heaven's Judgment, I was not losing from that position. So it was just 4 swings, 2 with overflow, 2 without overflow, and I just had enough lethal for the game, and we made it. We made it to day 2. We got 13th. We were very happy. I punched the wall. You can see a cut there.
He's on the mend.
Yeah, adrenaline was high that day. We made it to day 2. Now, unfortunately, day 2 we kind of I'm going to call this karmic retribution. All day. All of yesterday, I was begging, praying for a Fenrir matchup because I think it's one of the easiest matchup for birds. They pair me into a Fenrir matchup the first round of day 2, and I lose within the first 5 minutes, which isn't ideal because that just knocks me out of. Like I come joint 17, which is just top 32. I was like a little annoyed because game 1, I swung with a Garuda X on Proto Form because I needed to do 1 damage and gain a memory to low pass so that I could go over into Phoenixmon, sorry. And if they went full line Takemika, the Phoenixmon, the Garuda X would burn security, and the Phoenixmon would delete. Unfortunately, I swung and hit Fenrir, Takemika, Kazuchi in security, whilst they already had a Kazuchimon in trash. So I fixed their board state from nothing, and I just went like, once they'd established the Fenrir, I just said go next, because there was no way I was coming back from that.
Skip the cutscene.
Skip the cutscene, yeah. Game 2, I opened with I find the Ancient Grey line. The problem is I didn't have a Garudamon Ace to play up after doing the damage. So I had no way to go from like Veemon to Phoenixmon, or ideally go Garudamon Ace, Garudamon X, sorry, Phoenixmon to pass turn, and then again you have that body that lets you burn security and then delete the lowest DP Digimon to stop the Takemika Sutra in its tracks. Unfortunately, we didn't establish that, and then they just found the line, and just again the cutscene just kills you from 4, and there's not really much you can do about it. So I was dead like turn 4 twice. But yeah, that was the run, and it was a little bit gutting at first because it felt like a lot of work to get there just to fumble within the first 10 minutes and get knocked out straight away. But after a lot of cooldown and food and playing board games with friends, you know, it's a huge achievement for me. This is the first time I've ever made a day 2 of an event. This is the first time I've ever topped an event.
Hey, you know you got top.
It's not a top 16 though.
Okay.
Like this is like a problem. This is like a I'll get on an Eggman event this top.
Yeah,
But like, I appreciate it though. Don't worry. But yeah, I was happy to do it with a deck that I wanted to play rather than just a meta deck that I could have taken Mirage, or I could have taken, I don't know, Purple Hybrid if I really wanted to. But I did it. I kind of did it my way, and that's what I'm the most happy with. So yeah. I'll do shoutouts now. We should shout out the group that came with us. We should shout out the rest of the fanboy lot for being here and supporting me. Obviously, like other players had good runs. Like Johnny had a good run. Liam had a great run. And then Jambo clutched up in the side events. Which did you guys know it was a best of one?
They were so funny.
Best format one.
Well, we said best of one, I started cackling.
Yeah, best of one. I should have taken System on Control. This guy earned the same prize as me for doing less games.
Bro, I would have gotten the same prizing if it wasn't for your fucking deck again.
This guy has been through the ringer.
Birds 3 times in 1 weekend. This is the only guy I've ever met playing birds, and I come to this fucking event and I've played to 3 different birds guys. So, oh, it's cool.
Have you got them out with you?
Yeah.
Show them out. You gotta show.
Oh.
So this was the mat I got for getting top 32. I'm basically just like a vassal for. I got sent on the scavenger hunt for like Johnny and Derek just getting the promo cards, and I'm also just like just a vassal for getting people their prizing.
You've been my card game.
Yeah,
Oh,
It's been great.
it's been great.
It's weird that there's something on the map.
Oh
What is
yeah.
that?
So this is Chi Wu, the English card game producer. You know, the woman that's starting all Vinification. Yeah, she was at the event today. She was pretty chill.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sick man as well. Yeah, that feels nice. That feels really nice.
Yes. Collusion 11.
Just put it back in the
Feels like
camera.
really
Put it back in the
strongest
camera.
soldier.
You know, I might want this back actually. Can I?
Now that the value's gone up.
Nah. Yeah. Thank you guys for your support, and people in like the Digimon community who's been like kind of cheering me on as well, and kind of like telling me on birds.
We're going to talk about the professional incident Marcia, who was
Yeah, shout out to Moss.
Also a bird enjoyer, yeah.
But he chickened out, played Levy of all things.
Yeah, honestly, shout out to Marcia for being wrong about the ancient package.
I was the right one this time.
We love you, Marcia. We
Yeah,
love
you called that one from space. That was like Trix has been testing this for a minute, and it was just like, oh, that's really cool. And then every time you watched it like develop, it was like, oh, that's crazy. What the hell? It respits the Sora and then he does it all again?
It's insane.
Yeah. Crazy good.
Yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this list, you should play it. It's really fun. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, why aren't you subscribed to the channel? Subscribe to the channel now!
Mods, crush a skull.